Lucy is live with us this morning. Garlic bread would probably pair really well with this recipe. Lucy, what you making?
It would. We are making pumpkin soup today.
Yum!
So we are in October. Hard to believe it.
Yeah.
And I know we kind of have a yucky day, and I like soup all year round, but I thought that it'd be fun to do a pumpkin soup. It's very simple.
Sure.
And one of my favorite things, when Atlanta Bread Company was still open, did you ever eat their butternut squash soup?
I ate that, and was it chicken tortilla or fajita soup, whatever? Their soups were
so good. I used to eat lunch there all the time.
Yeah.
And I love their butternut squash soup. So of course this isn't butternut squash. We're just doing pumpkin today.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of it, and we're going to hit some of those same flavor notes. And so I'm going to start with, I have a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in this pot. I'm going to turn it up a little bit just to heat up. We're going to cook them over medium heat. So we just are going to soften up these onions for about 10 minutes. We don't want them to be super soft and translucent. We don't want high heat. We don't really want color on them. We just want to let them cook down some. And then, like I said, it's super easy because today we're going to use just a can of pure pumpkin puree, just the pumpkin, not the pie filling. But you could actually do this same thing if you did want to do butternut squash. You could kind of go with the same method, the same spices. You could just cut up your butternut squash, roast it off in the oven, and then put it in, and we're gonna puree it later anyway. So if you are really getting in the fall mood and wanted to do butternut squash, you could do the same thing.
So last year I asked you, I know you were making some pumpkin recipes in October, and I believe you've made a pumpkin soup in the past, but you've changed your recipe a little bit for this one.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So last time I did the pumpkin soup, we did just it was really basically the same recipe, and we did just the pumpkin pie spice, which we're going to add in a little bit later, which again doesn't have any sugar or anything. It's just the cinnamon and nutmeg and cardamom and all those things that you think about with pumpkin. But this time I'm going to add in some chipotle chili powder and give it a little bit of heat, and a half a teaspoon of curry powder, and a little bit more coconut milk this time, which you could of course use cream or anything you want, but I really like the coconut milk in there. And also it's good for you. So this one really is a good healthy recipe. I feel like sometimes especially, I mean, I would definitely lean towards a creamy soup.
Me too.
But you know, so then you kind of feel bad sometimes about eating it. So this one really is, you get that a lot of the flavor and the creamy texture, but it's really super healthy for you. So definitely a good option.
All right.
We are back in the what? I think I was starting to say pumpkin, and I was thinking kitchen.
You're too excited.
Kuchen?
Kuchen.
Anyway, pumpkin soup.
Yes.
Hey, Lucy.
Hey, man, we're making our pumpkin soup. Joe is excited about this one.
So excited I can't even talk.
So excited he can't talk. And what we've already done is we started with a couple tablespoons of olive oil in here and a small onion, and we've just been cooking it over medium heat just to soften them up. So those look perfect. So now we're going to add a couple cloves of garlic just chopped up, and we're going to add our spices too. So we talked a little bit earlier, and I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. And brown sugar is the best. 2 teaspoons of salt. A teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, and on the recipe it says if you want it less spicy, do a 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm doing a half. And half of curry powder and half of black pepper. So
that's because anyone who truly knows Lucy knows how spicy she is.
Spicy. My husband would agree. I'm sure in my family too. So we're just going to cook that just for a minute. Just let that garlic cook and those spices to wake up. And then we only are going to do a few more things. We're going to add 6 cups of chicken broth and either 2 small cans or 1 big can of pure pumpkin puree. And we're just going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes, and that'll happen, you know, over the next break. And then we're going to, you can either not worry about using an immersion blender and pureeing it, but I kind of like to do that just so it's really silky smooth.
Yeah.
And add our coconut milk and we'll be ready to eat.
Wow, this is incredible. Anything going on at Greer's leading up to Halloween, or any fall festive stuff going on right now?
We have pumpkins out there. It's so fun to see the pumpkins in the store. Halloween candy, of course. And then if you visit our downtown store, where it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so everybody's wearing their pink ribbons out in the stores, and we have just pink cups and pink beer and wine cups down at the new downtown store. It's starting to feel a lot nicer outside. Not today because it's rainy, but if you haven't visited our St. Louis store, it looks beautiful, decorated for the holidays.
So much fun, so festive. I can't wait to try this out. I'm so excited about it. Good times. We'll do that in just a bit right here on Studio 10.
All righty, welcome back. We are with Lucy and our pumpkin soup. You just blended it a good bit.
Yes, so optional.
Yes.
I just used my immersion blender to blend it up. The only things in there, of course, were and I finally chopped the onions and the garlic, but you can definitely put the immersion blender in here. As you can see, it just smooths it out. It thickens it up a little bit too.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't have an immersion blender, of course, you could do the same thing in a blender.
Sure.
Just a reminder, when you're using a blender to puree liquids, don't fill the blender all the way up because it will overflow. So do it in a couple batches.
Yeah.
That hot stuff kind of expands and it might boil over.
Right.
So, or if you don't want to do that step, you certainly don't have to. So now I'm adding in our 1 can of light coconut milk. And yeah, you want to taste it? And so this was, of course, our pumpkin soup. I'll kind of tell everybody what we did. We started with some onions, cooked those down, and added some garlic and our spices, some curry powder, some chipotle chili powder, a little bit of brown sugar and salt and pepper and pumpkin pie spice. Do you like it?
You did the dang thing.
Oh, you like it? Yay! And then,
that's so good, Lucy.
Yay! I'm so glad you like it.
Oh my gosh.
Joe's itching to taste it.
I know.
I'm surprised he
I
didn't
got a
come over
spoon
here.
for him just in case. It's so nice.
Yay, I'm glad you like it. So it's kind of, and like I said, we did pumpkin soup before and we didn't really add any heat to it, and I didn't add the curry.
Yeah.
But I really like it this way. Do you taste a little bit of the sweetness from the brown sugar?
Well, at first you taste a little of the pumpkin pie spice, but what I like, because I do love a little heat, is that you get just a hint of that heat after. It's like the sweetness hits first and then the heat.
Okay, good. I didn't do it just with the brown sugar at first, so I added that. So I'm glad you like it. So like we said, it's a healthy option too. It looks like we added a bunch of cream to it, but here he comes. But we didn't. We just added the coconut milk, which is really good for you.
Right.
And the pumpkin, of course, is good for you too. So
that's a tasty treat.
I'm
so nice.
So glad y'all like it.
Now, when you serve this at home, do you serve it with anything? Like tomato soup? We've got our grilled cheese, or do you crackers, or just soup?
Yeah, you swing by Little Caesars and get the crazy bread. And then you can put that with it.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, garlic bread would be really good. Crackers.
Okay.
My mom is a huge cracker and soup fan. The oyster crackers.
Yeah.
So I'm like whole box.
I love oyster crackers.
I know, they're so good.
They're the best thing ever.
Oh my gosh, this was amazing.
With the exception of this soup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try it.
Lucy, thank you. Joe, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jen, I'll get you a spoonful, but good soup for a day like today.